We're here in Warrenton at our annual crabbing festival. It looks like the weather's going to open up for us and we'll actually do some crabbing today. So, 2016.
Kind of looks back and forth out there weather-wise, Brent. This ought to make for some interesting.
It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and the My Backyard crew has assembled for the annual cold water Columbia River crab trip once again. New additions for this year's event are my son and nephews, and our new fishing buddies from Bremerton, Braun, Tim, and Steve, and their families. Once again, we will be using the services of World Class Fishing's Captain Andy Betnar. To charter Andy, simply look up World Class Fishing out of Astoria, Oregon.
Getting ready to head out. Go out here and get ourselves some crabs. We got 9 pots out there already soaking, and we're gonna drop an additional 16 and then pull the 9 that are out there. Hope the weather cooperates.
Today we'll be crabbing out of Hammond, Oregon, a small fishing community just west of Astoria. The Dungeness crab is a species of crab that inhabits eelgrass beds and water bottoms on the west coast of North America. It typically grows to about 8 inches across the carapace and is a popular seafood prized for its sweet and tender flesh. Its common name comes from the port of Dungeness, Washington. Newcomers Joey and John Woolard prep the pots for dropping as we make our way to the crab grounds. Once we're on location, Brian and his son John trail the buoy lines in preparation for dropping the pots. The pots are heavier than the marker buoys can hold up. If you were to throw the pots in the water in hopes of the line uncoiling, an unseen snag or knot would submerge the pot, line, and buoy, resulting in a significant dollar loss.
Yeah, they're in bags already.
Tuna heads are on the menu for the crab today. The pots are dropped along a line to spread them out across the tidal movement as much as possible. If the pots were thrown in a line along the tidal movement, the bait cone, the attractant, would be concentrated along a very narrow width.
This is what crab eat.
Once the last of the 18 pots that were brought out on this trip are in the water, we can move to the string of 9 bigger, heavier pots Captain Andy put out yesterday.
So you pick up the buoy and just let it back out, and then just like when we drop them, it'll trail out behind the boat.
Now that we've shifted gears from placing pots to retrieving them, the skipper instructs the crew on proper technique. It might seem elementary, but if you're doing something fairly new in rough seas, a lot can go wrong in a hurry.
Don't put it in the block. Just start feeding the slack out there. You go. Just start feeding it through.
Thankfully, this year the skipper decided to splurge on a brand new pot puller. Up until this point, we've pulled all the pots by hand.
There's a good chance those are going to be sticky.
Sticky? What does that mean?
Okay, hold on. Did it just bend that boom? Hold on.
Plan A is going to be to wrap the line around the front cleat and use the wind and the boat's weight to break the pot free of the bottom. And it works.
All right, now you gotta grab it. And release it out of there. Well, you know what? There's a couple of really big ones in there, but I wanted to see a lot more. I need that yellow bucket now. Yellow bucket.
Now comes the sorting. Both Washington and Oregon require that a legal Dungeness crab be male and 5 3/4 inches wide at a minimum. To enable fishermen to measure accurately, they've developed a crab gauge.
We got 5 keepers. Let's start.
Unfortunately, our second, as well as every other pot that was placed yesterday, is stuck, necessitating the use of the boat's weight and the wind to break them free without parting the lines. This maneuver would be repeated over and over again.
You ain't got 2 hands.
And the process repeats until we get our limits of 12 apiece or we run out of pots.
So we just finished pulling our 9th pot, and what did we end up with?
79.
79 keepers out of 9 pots.
Back on dry land, and it's important to tell you that a chartered fishing trip with world-class fishing adventures comes with a professional-grade crab cooker.
Want to just take the whole thing and dump it?
Yeah, if we can.
Set it up on there. Right.
They'll come out. They're too hot to touch.
Let me get this out of the way. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
Whack!
Ready?
They're wedged in here. Better.
Thanks to Captain Andy Betnar, and we'll see you on our next adventure.